Hi, Daniel. It's Mike Sarno. I wanted to reply to some of the text comments that we've been trading back and forth. We've been trading some comments back and forth on a number of different videos. We've PM'd. Generally, we agree, disagree, about half the time. But I always appreciate the points that you make. I guess I wanted to talk to you about the idea that you stated that the Bible is all true, or any single false statement would invalidate the entire Bible. The standard, cherry picking argument about biblical interpretation. I guess what I wanted to do was let's follow the chronology of this. Let's follow the chronology backwards and see where there's possibilities of errors, and why that doesn't necessarily invalidate the entire text. I mean, first let's look at the modern understanding. The text could all be correct, but our modern understanding is false. Therefore, whatever we get out of the Bible could potentially be false. It's our rational minds that are going to interpret this. And we're humans, therefore we're subject to error. So we could potentially be misinterpreting these things. Even if we have the original text in hand, we could potentially not interpret it correctly. So therefore the text could be true, but because of the use of language and the use of metaphor, we could potentially be misunderstanding it. Therefore, there could be errors in our understanding, and that's just as good as having the text being incorrect, because our understanding is incorrect. I also think another problem is, let's step back in time and let's look at what the Bible really is. It's a compilation of different books. It's not a single book. Some books were included, some books were omitted, and again, that was a human process. The Catholic Church accepts some texts as valid and includes them in the Bible, whereas Protestant religions do not include some of those texts. So I think we have to decide, well, which are correct and which aren't, and we have to realize this is a human process. Some books that are true, are not included. We have to acknowledge that, and likewise, some books that include some falsehoods could potentially have been included in the text as well. That's just the way that it is. It's a human procedure. Again, we're dealing with copies of the text. I mean, obviously the English translations are just that. They're translations. The Bible wasn't written in English. But even where we have the original language, we're dealing with copies. We do not have the original text. The original text as it was written, we do not have it. It's just not there. So we're dealing with copies. And again, copies are subject to human error. Humans edited it and copied it. That's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with copies, not the originals. But even then, let's step back one step further. What are we talking about if we're even looking at an original? Even if we had the original there in front of us, what is it? It's something that a human wrote. Now, let's grant that it was divinely inspired. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that an angel or God himself dictated this and someone wrote it down? There's still a potential for human error there. But what if this is just divinely inspired in the way that, say, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel was divinely inspired? Michelangelo's hand wasn't being guided per se by God, but the inspiration was there, let's say. That could be exactly what we're dealing with these texts. And, that's one of the problems. We have possibility of error coming in with the origin, with the copies, with the compilation, and with our modern understanding. And those are all the potential problems. And I think it's really important to understand that, because if you don't acknowledge the fallibility of the process, then basically what you're saying is that the Bible itself is doesn't require human reason. And we know that that's not true. Human reason needs to be involved. And if you don't use your reason, then what are you saying? That the Bible is God? I mean, that's idolatry. So I don't think you want to say that, but you certainly want to encourage people to use their power of reasoning. And I think that's correct. But as soon as you say you're going to have reasoning involved, well, you're introducing error, because we're not always correct. So I think those are some of the reasons why it's not necessarily cherry picking. We need to use our brains when we're looking at Scripture. So just a few things for you to consider. Thanks for watching.